the last blockbuster on Netflix last night.
Oh
So,
yeah, it's in Oregon,
Oh
right?
yeah.
yeah, Bend, Oregon. You know how far away that is from you.
So
3 hours.
funny. When was that documentary made? Because when I first moved to Oregon, there were three blockbusters here. Did they touch on that in the documentary or?
Yeah, well, yeah, it goes over time and slowly like winds down to that being the last one, you know. So because there was like also three in Alaska for a while, and then
Uh-huh.
it winds
Yeah, because
down to that
it
one.
was only just recently that there were still two here. And then the one that was closer to me closed.
Yeah, there was one closer to Forest Grove, right?
Yeah. It was like gosh. I want to say, oh, gosh, I can't remember where it was. Somewhere like as far as like longitude, latitude, it was around like Sherwood or something like that. And then like somewhere around
I miss the smell of that place.
oh my gosh, yeah.
They talk about that.
Yeah, it's just nothing like it. Is it the
Yeah.
plastic?
It's like,
Is it the
and they
plastic?
purposely did like
the
yeah, it's like the plastic and the popcorn smell. They tried to give it a.
I mean, Friday nights going to the video store, I mean, that was such a trope,
oh
Mhm.
you
man,
know? And you pick up some Papa Murphy's, you know?
it was so busy too, right?
So busy. And you had to get there before someone else got the new
Got your
release.
movie, yeah.
And then sometimes you get lucky and ask, hey, do you have that? And they're like, yes. Like, yes.
Yeah, we got one in. We just when you get them to check the bin.
Yeah.
You worked at a so my friend is a filmmaker, James Westby, and he just did a documentary, The Video Store, at the video store. And he goes
Do
to
you have the Outer Limits on there? Oh, never mind.
this is Dr. Hughes still.
It was doing the
yeah.
we control.
We controlled the transmission.
That's a great segue into I never really saw a lot of the Outer Limits, but I was into the Night Gallery. For some reason I stumbled
Todd
across
Serling.
that show. Yeah. Steven Spielberg's first directorial debut with Joan Crawford, right? She was in
was
one of
on
those.
was on Night Gallery.
Mm-hmm.
I
Or
did
Betty
not know
Davis.
that.
Yeah.
Did not know that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with
That kind of makes sense that he ended up doing Amazing Stories.
Right. I remember
That-
Didn't
that.
they
like-
reboot that recently on somewhere? Like
I tried
Amazing
to,
Stories. I
They
think
tried
they tried
to.
to, yeah.
yeah.
didn't go anywhere.
But
Right.
yeah, that would make sense, right? If he got his start on a show like that where they were letting young directors, new directors, that he would like, oh, I'll do the same thing, and other people.
I miss those days. Spielberg just like showed up to the studio a lot and was like, I'm gonna live here.
Right.
And they're like, okay. That does not happen anymore. That would never happen now.
Yeah,
Not possible now.
Tased and peppered
Yeah.
sprayed and
that was one of my favorite TV shows when it came out. Amazing Stories.
Oh
Was
yes.
that was 1985.
yep.
Yeah.
Wow,
Do you remember the episode with
dating myself.
Gunner trapped in the
Yes.
That was his. Didn't he do that episode? That's the first
I
episode.
think that was Spielberg. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the pilot, and he
it's
draws the wheel, the landing gear.
and his friends were touching it, and it's like, why? There's no explanation for any of the things that happened. Lucy, the plant, remember that one? This guy had a plant.
Oh, he was the writer, right?
Yeah.
And it started. He had no good scripts ever, and then it started writing for him, and
he got jealous and like, no, the cat pushed it out the window.
Yeah, the cat pushed it out the window.
And
but it like got him on Broadway and stuff, right? Yeah.
What a weird show. What kind of drugs were they doing back then? And
the episode that stood out the most to me was the it was all about like a rich kid whose parents were distant the whole time, and he was just in this huge white mansion. Everything was white, his clothes were white, and like he was just like unloved, and like the episode ended with him dying. Like I feel like he committed suicide or something. It was a really dark episode, like because I saw it a few years ago as an adult, and I was like, why was I so obsessed with this when I was a kid? This is really dark. but he like dies and then he's reborn into a family that loves him.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
It
Oh, that's so
was
dark.
such a weird episode.
And
It
they're
was-
poor. They're like poor family.
They're poor, yeah,
Yeah,
but like
I
that was
remember
like the last few minutes, you know? Like the whole rest of it is just this kid in this like sterile environment by himself.
Remember, we always talked about it. Everyone
And-
hated the rich in the 80s. That rich were just evil. Like if you're a rich, you're unloving, you're cold,
Mm.
you know.
There was that trope, or that they were like, you know, the best, like in Silver Spoons, you know, like
Yeah.
you just couldn't wait to be rich, you know.
We wanted Ricky's room. Oh my God, I wanted that train in my room. I would do that now in my apartment. I would love a train in here. That'd be amazing. Just want to go to the kitchen, grab a drink. All right, so let's talk about maybe 3 favorite shows each, or and then we can play the game and wrap up here because we don't want to take all of Michael's day on the East Coast. So, Adam, spot off 3 shows that you liked. Michael, you go next, and I'll go last. 3 shows. Boom.
Alien Nation.
Yes, coming back, by the way.
Oh, nice. With Michael, I can't think of his name. With the same writer, director,
The same showrunner is bringing it back, but rated R, of course.
Uh-huh.
And it's going to do it on like Netflix or a streamer, obviously, because that's all there is now. There's no network TV. You know what?
That's the options, right?
Yeah, I mean, not to veer off from this too much, but I don't even like network TV shows now. They don't do anything for me. I've become so spoiled with Netflix. And anybody else feel that way? If you see like a show premiering on NBC, you're like, oh, that's gonna suck, because it's not.
I think there's trust issues. I have trust issues. Like, you're gonna cancel it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, now you can clearly see the commercial waves here, right?
I feel like I feel like once HBO hit its stride, the rest of TV became just like pointless. Like,
Yeah.
why would I watch anything like that's so that it just HBO like pushed us into the next, you know, like really Twin Peaks should have done that, because Twin Peaks was the first concurrent storyline that, you know,
Sci-fi,
like,
right?
yeah,
Sci-fi-ish.
the network canceled them
Yeah.
because after every episode they would get letters. I don't know what's going on. Why is this show like this? Why don't you just make it like every other show where they solve the case in the same episode?
that's
And
not
that
the
was
David
ultimately
Lynch way.
that was ultimately why they canceled it. But and even after Twin Peaks got canceled, there was all these shows that popped up that were nods to Twin Peaks, like Picket Fences, etc.
I love that show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it wasn't as good as Twin Peaks.
No.
But and then they weren't doing the concurrent storyline either, you
No.
know. And it
Picket-
wasn't
yeah.
until like Sopranos that somebody dared to do another concurrent storyline.
Yeah, and then Mad Men really
Yeah.
pushed that. to
And
the next
then
level.
so yeah, between HBO and where's Always Sunny from, and The Shield, and those
FX,
shows.
FX really, yeah, they pushed the
between
envelope
those
too.
those channels, I was like, that's all I need for
Yeah,
TV. Like,
I don't want to watch.
I don't have as much time to watch TV as when I was a kid, and
the
I'd
thought of
rather watch
watching like Grey's Anatomy. now
quality
is just-
writing. Yeah.
All right, so what was your second sci-fi?
Probably definitely Twilight Zone, and then this show was sci-fi, sometimes kind of fantasy, but Erie, Indiana
Oh yeah,
will always
Omri
be a
Katz.
personal favorite. Yeah.
Omri Katz played JR's son in Dallas. Biggest man
I
crush
didn't
on him when I was
remember
younger.
I
Yeah,
didn't remember that. Is that why he got Erie, Indiana?
I don't know, but the kid was brilliant, and I recently looked him up, and he's doing like directing now. That show was really good, and that I heard that's being rebooted as well.
My
on
kids
Netflix.
love it. They hated the first reboot. They're just like, why?
There's a reboot. There's a first reboot.
There was a reboot like a couple years after it was canceled.
Oh,
And I think it's only like one season or something.
it's
but
on Amazon, right?
if you find it streaming, you can find that later series, and it's not, the kids are just not that good.
Oh, okay. Michael, what about you? 3 favorites, if you could
3
choose.
favorites. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Actually, I think three current favorites.
Yeah.
I would The Expanse.
Hmm.
Really, really Expanse. I need to catch up. I've been reading the book and the show, and I think that's like, again, you went from sci-fi uh to Amazon, I believe is now Amazon Prime. And so The Expanse, I would say Black Mirror in
Hmm.
the
Yep.
very sort of
Oh, yeah.
Twilight Zone tradition, especially the really like far out sci-fi stuff that they get into in some of the episodes. And you know what? Um, to harken back to one of my big influences, Jurassic Park, uh, Camp Cretaceous. I don't know if
Okay.
you guys have watched
I have
that at all.
not seen
It's
it.
good.
No.
My 7-year-old daughter is obsessed with it. Has like watched through the 2 seasons that are available so far, like multiple times. And honestly, it's kind of sharp and
Yeah. Pun
really cool
intended.
characters. Yeah.
And it does a lot of nods to the movies as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and it's like taking place concurrently, at least like that their first season, with the events unfolding in the first Jurassic World
yeah,
movie, and then the kids get stuck there on the island,
yeah, that's
and then
awesome.
they're like having to survive on their own. It's like pretty dope.
Awesome. Mine are V, and I need to have a whole show
Oh yeah.
just dedicated to that. That blew me away. Oh my god, I can't like get enough of that. And the beginning of COVID during lockdown, like bought it for my daughter, and she loved it. And we just huge Kenneth Johnson fans, huge V fans, huge Mark Singer fans, like worship Donovan growing up. Um, Battlestar Galactica, and then Star Trek: The Next Generation, by far the best written show in a long time. I mean, they took sci-fi to the next level with their writing. I mean, could you
Yeah.
imagine being in the writing room? Those episodes got so deep and so philosophical. And then I hear a lot of the science is like legit science, like, for or legit theory. Um,
Yeah.
Super
Yeah,
cool.
they stuck pretty good with like keeping the rules, right? Like
Yeah,
you got the jump drive and whatnot, but you know, otherwise you like you have to deal very much with the real physics of space, you know. But something that I enjoy about the Expanse as well. I feel like they live in that good place of like hard sci-fi in
it's
space that
so
no,
exciting.
where like it actually makes sense, you know. Like this is what it would be like. um and yeah, we're speculating like if you had just like this type of propulsion and technology that get you out places faster, so you know it doesn't take you years to get to
Yeah,
you know, a moon of Jupiter. um, but yeah, I appreciated that about Battlestar Galactica as well.
yeah, yeah. I love that about Star Trek Voyager was they like it was like sci-fi on acid. Let's take them 75 years away, 75,000 years away into the Delta Quadrant. So even at warp speed, they would have to get back to Earth would take them 75 years. I mean, that's a brilliant premise for a Star Trek show. So they're on the other side of the universe and they're dealing with things they've never encountered. The only Federation ship out there. So good. Such a great idea for a show. And Captain Janeway was like the first captain, like female captain in this series of the show. And Star Trek's always done really good at um, for marginalized groups. They've always really represented marginalized groups well. So yeah, Janeway's a badass. When she showed up in First Contact, I fucking freaked out. Oh no, she showed up in Insurrection. I remember
Mhm.
clapping and screaming, and my cousins were like, "Dude, stop! Like, relax. It's just a movie." I'm like, "It's Janeway! Oh my god!" Um, so good. Yeah, I get goosebumps thinking about it. It's a good show. Adam, you have a game for us,
Yes.
and
I was
are you
not
gonna do
totally
the?
ready. Did you want to tell us about the time that you interviewed
Oh, Richard Hatch.
yes, Richard Hatch
Yeah,
from
Battlestar
Battlestar
Galactica.
Galactica?
Yeah, it was
Ooh.
totally random. My producer Wesley Cornwell, who I've produced some good stuff and not so good stuff. But in the early days, my other podcast, Lunch with Luis, I would just interview artists on the show. We'd have lunch, but we went to Rose City Comic Con back its first year in Portland, and got press passes, and we're at happy hour, and I'm like, that is Richard Hatch. Like, I worshipped him growing up. Apollo from Battlestar. And I'm like, he's not gonna, there's no way he'll do an interview, because we're just like, and my buddy's like, no, Wesley's like, of course he'll do an interview. Of course he will. That's why he's here. He's here to promote himself. So he's like, I'll be right back. And he went over and talked to him, introduced himself, and he's like, you have 20 minutes, which he'll give you 20 minutes. And he's like, he wants to do it now though. It's like, oh shit. So we set up, and I'm just so I'm just starstruck and nervous. And like, I'm not used to doing it on YouTube either. Sipping a beer, I'm just like trying to calm my nerves. And I think Richard picked up on the nerves. And so he gave me a lot of really good motivation in talking about, it's just as a fantastic interview, talking about, believing in yourself and how hard the business is, and how you really have to find a good group of people to work with. And I was just like starstruck. I still remember being on cloud nine and sending that to my brother. And I got to see Richard at a web series launch too in LA, and then he unfortunately passed away from cancer. But what a nice guy, just a genuine soul. Doesn't have anything good to say about Dirk Benedict, who played Starbuck. Was not a fan of his. I guess that guy was kind of a dirtbag on a lot of different. I've heard that a couple of times. But yeah, that was such a great experience. My God, never forget that. Thanks for reminding me of that,
That's
Adam.
awesome. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna read a synopsis, and you're gonna guess what the show is.
Okay.
Should I give you guys like most of these shows are newer, so I don't think Earth astronaut JC, that's not his name, but I don't want to give it's a giveaway, is unexpectedly hurled to an unknown part of the Milky Way galaxy via a wormhole. He is dropped into the middle of an escape attempt by Moya, a living spaceship from the militaristic somebodies who had been using it as a prison transport.
That's the premise.
That's the premise.
That's a cool premise.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I know this.
Can you give me
Dark Matter?
The error?
There were 3 seasons, and it came out in 1999.
1999.
Not Babylon 5.
No. It was a Sci-Fi Channel show.
Oh.
One of the better ones. It was considered an anchor series.
Oh, I think I can't remember the name, but I think I know what it is.
And Jim Henson Company was involved with it.
The puppetry.
Yeah.
For the aliens, yeah. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
What is it?
Farscape.
I can't think of
Damn it!
What is it? Farscape. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super well done show. My God.
Yeah. I thought the living ship was going to give it away. Okay. Here's the next one. This was a short-lived series, not because it didn't want to be, but oh wait, I have the wrong synopsis up.
Ooh.
We're really not going to guess it.
Why does that have that was weird. Okay. It's set in the year 2517 after the arrival of humans in a new star system, and follows the adventures of a renegade crew aboard a ship. The ensemble cast portrays 9 characters who live on it, looking into the blackness of space and seeing 9 different things. That is a weird synopsis.
That seems
It's
like
a
Some
very
weird
well. It's a
synopsis.
very well known show. Has probably one of the biggest cult followings of any series.
Firefly.
Yes.
Yes. I
Yeah.
didn't know it took place in 2517.
The 9 different things off there. It's
Yeah.
like, wait, what? I
Yeah, I was
remember
like,
this.
this is a weird synopsis.
That didn't say Firefly to me, but okay, all right.
All right. Okay, our next one. A young programmer works as a cybersecurity engineer by day and a vigilante hacker by night.
Mr. Robot.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yep.
I had to have
Sorry.
one that was like not too hard.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Right.
all right. A group of people with superhuman abilities work to prevent crimes committed by other people like them. It was a two season series, 2011 to 2012.
On Netflix.
Who is this show from?
Because it almost sounds like Heroes, but Heroes is
Earlier.
more than 2 seasons.
Yeah.
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 Or is it the Umbrella Academy?
Oh, this is
I
a
love
much
it.
better synopsis than the one I read.
I love the Umbrella.
Following the death of a witness in a court case, Dr. So-and-so leads a team of so-and-sos, advanced human beings who have a number of special skills that make them a formidable team. As he mentors them and teaches the team to harness their considerable skills, they begin to realize that they are powerful forces behind the courthouse murder, including one of their own.
Sliders.
It's Sense8.
What was it? What did you say?
Sense8,
No.
isn't it? No.
It sounds like Sense8 though. Damn it.
David
Yeah, it
Stratham.
does.
David Stratham. What?
Ryan Cartwright.
David Stratham.
Malik Yoba. It's called Alphas.
Alphas.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, I've run across that. I haven't watched it, but yeah.
Spoilers,
Okay.
Adam.
I know.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We have time for 2 more.
Okay. A group of travelers who move between parallel worlds
Travelers.
by use of a wormhole referred to
Sliders.
Yes.
Sliders is so good.
Oh, it was awesome.
Sliders was one of my favorites while it was on.
Yeah.
I don't know how it stands up now.
Right. I haven't gone back to revisit.
Okay. 15 years after a plague, a young man is traveling across the remains of the United States looking for the Valhalla sector, where his father told him there might be survivors who can help rebuild the world.
Wow.
Man. Post-apocalyptic.
It was a Showtime show also.
Showtime. Yeah, I might not know this one.
What year?
2002 to 2004.
Nope. Those years are blurs for me.
I know.
This show was great.
I was in college.
I wish
I didn't have
people would
Showtime.
revisit this show. It's called Jeremiah. It was starring Luke Perry, Malcolm Jamal Warner, and Sean Astin.
What?
Yeah.
How did I not know this?
Yeah.
Jeremiah. I'm gonna write that down.
Right?
I have Showtime as well.
Where can I find it?
By the way, speaking of Showtime, today is the last episode of Shameless, and I'm sad. And it's been on for 11 years.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys have watched the show, but
I haven't. One of
Yeah.
the people in the collective
It's
is obsessed with it though.
so good, and it's gonna end the way I think it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be a rough one, but man, seeing these young actors just grow up on the show and now owning their craft is amazing. Emma Rasa, I mean, like, she is so amazing. But I definitely, it's one of those shows that once you get past the first 3 episodes, then you're hooked. You're just hooked.
Oh
It's
man,
good. It's good.
So you can watch Jeremiah. You can watch season 2 for free on Prime, but season 1 you have to buy.
That makes no sense.
I know, right? You'd think they would do it the other way around. You'd get hooked on it, and then you're like, all right, I guess I have to buy the second
Yeah.
Right.
season. So I'm not sure where you can watch the first season, but
If you guys want my Showtime sign in, let me know. We could do a watch party. Michael, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for talking to us today. Where can we buy your books and listen to your podcast and follow your tweets and
Sure.
Patreon?
Yeah.
Everybody has. What are you on, and where can we find you?
Yeah. Thank you again for having me. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, people can find me. Easiest place is my website, mikelwisler.com. It's mikelwisler.com. Since I spell it out because it's a funny name, both the first and last name. No silent letters or anything. But yeah, that's where there's info there on my books. Link there to my podcast, Exploring Tomorrow. Which again, you can search on pretty much any podcasting platform. And you can also search on YouTube because I usually post them up there as well. And I am on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Probably don't do as much social media as I should, but I try. Twitter and Instagram are probably where I'm most active, sort of most plugged in, easiest to find, just at Mikel Wisler, nieces or anything, and you can look me up there. And especially on Instagram, I try to post lots of fun, interesting science fiction related quotes about the genre and things about different books, a lot of things that I'm reading, and get into interesting discussions there.
Awesome. And your name is spelled Mikel for our listeners.
Yep, that's right.
My brother's name is Michael.
Mikel.
Well, thank you again. And when you get hired and show run your own sci-fi show, me and Adam are both writers, so I don't want to I just want to put it out there. Like, we love sci-fi, so please, if you need writers for your writers room, Adam, I'm just gonna go ahead and put our names out there. We gotta.
It sounds perfect. Well, that way I can, if I'm pitching a show, it's like, well, I've already, I'm starting to assemble my writers room. Yeah.
Just give us the budget.
You have a diverse writers room.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
All right. Well, so from the TV Time Machine podcast, I'm Luis.
And I'm Adam.
And we
love TV.
We can never get it right. Thank you again.
Thanks for coming in. Bye.
All right. I'll stop recording. Bye.